Namanda, 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 namanda.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to today's family service. My name is Maria Piper, and I will be your chairperson today. So we are going to begin this morning service as usual with the Sangujo on page 24 and 25, followed by the Jusei on page 93, which I'll come back at.
Namanda, 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 namanda. Ujo Midam
Now we'll turn to the Jusei on page 93.
가곤 조세간 이시무조도 기간 후만소 세후조쇼가 가오무료고 의이다이세슈 의사이쇼빙그 세후조쇼가 가시조운도 묘쇼조지포 극교미쇼몬 세후조쇼가 리오진쇼는 조에슈본교 시금의조도 이쇼텐닌시 진리기엔다이고 부쇼무사이도 쇼조산구묘 도사이슈야쿠난 가이지에게 메시곤모한 에이소쿠쇼아쿠도 스단센슈몬 고소조만소 이요로지포 이치간슈주기 겐코온후게 이슈카이호소 고세그도쿠호 조다이슈주 세포시시구 구요이사이붓 그서구슈도쿠온 단계신조만 도쿠이산가요 뇨붓무게지 스란미부쇼 난가구에리 도시사이쇼손 시간약고가 다이센노간도 고쿠쇼테니 도지묘게 나만다부 Anishiku dogu yodo sei sai don moda ishin ojo
Please stand for the Gatha, Nembutsu number 1 on page 169, and remain standing for the reading of the 3 treasures on page 8.
Treasures, page 8. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not realize the truth in this life, when will it be realized? Let us reverently take refuge in the 3 treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we absorb ourselves in the principle of the way to enlightenment and awakening ourselves the supreme will. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we be submerged in the depths of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we live in harmony in the great assembly as disciples of Buddha and be free from all hindrances, becoming units of true accord in a life of harmony, in the spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriad ages of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teachings. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. Please be seated.
Now Reverend Fujimoto will share a Dharma message.
Good morning. Good morning. Ohayou gozaimasu. We were doing our Dharma school service and I asked if there were any questions. I said, what happened to your voice? So, yeah, change in personality. I don't even recognize my voice, so it's really, let's pretend we have a guest speaker today. Okay? That might be more fun. Okay. So, okay, we're going to talk about art a little bit. Please join me in Gassho, and I'll read this wasan. The light shines everywhere, ceaselessly. Thus, Amida is called Buddha of uninterrupted light, because beings hear and see this power of light. Their mindfulness is enduring, and they attain birth. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. So in this wasan, they're talking about the light of Amida shining ceaselessly. Any corner, every corner, any room of darkness it will enter and bring light there. So the rooms of darkness are our own heads, right? So we had our still going on, but yesterday was our opening reception at Rhythmix, about a half a mile from here, and Colors of the Infinite. So we used that. First we had just contemporary Buddhist art, and one of our artists, Joyce, she said, you should add some words to that. So we added Colors of the Infinite, and I was glad that she mentioned that. It kind of adds a lot to the title, and to me it brings this dimension of Alameda and tying it into the artwork that they have here. Various colors utilized by the artists, and these, in a sense, are the radiation from Alameda, not from the artist, through the artist, from Alameda through the artist, and to be shared with everyone. So I kind of see that as the process of the art that we're able to display. So there's been a lot of art going on, as I'm the chairperson for the BCA Art Committee, and because things have opened up a little bit, we had our first BCA National Council meetings in Sacramento and in person 2 weeks ago. Howard and Joyce and I went to represent Alameda, and so because we were in person, they suggested we have an art exhibit over there, okay? And so I kind of recruiting people. I wanted to show the new committee members, and so 2 of them are from Portland, so they sent a few pieces down, and the other works 2 other people from the Northern District, because I wanted to highlight the artists from that area, okay? So they were invited, and they had a little room for us where the bride usually changes at the Sacramento Betsuin, a major temple there. And because of it, it had a nice lighting, a whole counter, double sink counter, and mirror here, full mirror behind, so the bride and her maids of honor could see how they looked like as they prepared to come out for the wedding. So it's nice lighting, nice setting, small room, but they have a double sink there. Koichi says, what should we do about this double sink? Yeah, that's kind of a problem, isn't it? And so trying to figure it out as we get the artwork in there. And so we got 2 tubs from the kitchen, and it says curry on there. And they're all stained yellow from carrying curry for 200 years. And so we put those on top of each of the sinks, and so the counter looks like boop, boop, you know, so they look like mini pedestals, right? So we use that to highlight the artwork instead of trying to hide that it was a sink basin there. And so anyway, we had this little show. The National Council meetings are like 3 days and it goes on, but the actual meeting while we were in Sacramento is a day and a half. So it's a brief show, art show in terms of, and so, you know, we set it up nicely, but when I reported that we're going to have this other art show in Alameda, I'm thinking most people thought it's kind of similar, right? A couple people showing their artwork, and the sink is hidden with curry tubs and things like this, right? But Rhythmix has a very nice gallery downstairs, and we had invited artists who have shown their things throughout the United States and such. And, Joan was one of them, so she showed her pieces as well. And so the setting is quite different. Even Jane wasn't sure. She said, are you going to have the same artists at both exhibits? I said, no, completely different. And so I think people weren't sure what to expect of this gallery, the art exhibit that we're having here, but many people came to the opening reception yesterday. Some of them are contacted by Rhythmix. They have their own mailing list. They have put things out. I don't know. So I asked when I didn't recognize people, I asked, how did you find the exhibit? And They'll talk about some site they found of things happening in the town, in the city, and so they came out to check. And some of them looked like, you know, Asian, so maybe they were interested in Buddhism, Buddhist art, so different types of people came. Others came from the Bay District, other temples, and many came from Alameda, so they came to see this artwork. And so it was a lot of fun. Many people were able to come. And as I'm standing there, I had my robes on just so they knew I was one of the Buddhists. But Walt Fuji's brother, you know, Walt comes and trims our trees, and I forget his name. Do you know the brother's name? Anybody? Anyway, they came together to Palo Alto when we went for the 850th service. That was special. That's almost a year ago. March 12th, 2023. Anyway, they were there, and so Walt didn't come, but his brother barely recognized him, but they looked real similar. So, yeah, hi, how are you? And we met and split and came back together, and then I always wanted to ask you, when you were doing your presentation in Palo Alto, you were talking about recognizable aspects of the infinite. So I always wanted to ask you more about that. So, and I use that here quite a bit, and again, it's the infinite, right? Pointing out the infinite. And so even at our services, funeral services, memorial services, I try to tell people that, you know, we cry, we feel badly, grieve about the people we lose in our families, and it's always difficult and sad. At the same time, they are recognizable aspects of the infinite, okay? Not just I lost my father, I lost my mother, not just connected to my personal family, but if you think of your own family, if you go beyond 4 generations, for example, they're just names. You don't know the face. You know, we don't know them. We didn't know them. And so it becomes a blur. You think about 5, 6, 10 generations, 20 generations, and it goes on. Opening from family, recognizable aspects, mom and dad, my brother, somebody, right? And then it spreads out, opening us to the infinite. And so when I kind of describe the Buddhist name, I tell them that's not really a description of the person that passed away. It's a description of Amida, because eventually, through the person that we lose, we connect to the infinite, to Amida, right? And so I was able to share a little bit of that story with Walt's brother. Oh, okay. Yeah, I always wanted to ask you, I can understand that now, right? So all these short confrontations come and another party, I think they're from Berkeley. I just met them yesterday. I had no idea if they're connected to another temple, to Nishi Berkeley Sangha or something like that. They had read my curator's statement. So putting on this art show, I became the curator, right? And so setting it up, so we have these 5 artists. We would like to show them, your primary artists and other artists from the area. They're going to show their work. Okay, well, we need a curator statement. So what's that? And so they said, you're the curator. I've never been a curator. So what does that mean? So anyway, kind of like the coordinator of these artists coming in, and when I first told them, I told Janet Koike, who that's Rhythmix is her place, and told her that all these artists have exhibited their artwork in the BCA Virtual Art exhibit for the last 3 years. And through that, I was able to find other works that they did and invited them. Betty Kano is 80 years old tomorrow, and she was one of the main artists, and I didn't know who she was, okay? So she just showed one piece in the BCA virtual art, and she showed the same piece the next year. Yeah. But it says on her write-up that, you know, I have a website. So I looked up the website. So all these paintings opened up. So, wow, look at that. And so because of that, I contacted her. I had no idea the history that she had. So everything kind of opened and opened and opened. And so in talking about this, I'm kind of hoping that this show will be there for a month, over a month, and you'll have opportunities to go there. I really encourage you to go there. So in my curator statement, this is what I wrote. And I just assumed they wanted us to have people consider what is Buddhist art, kind of encourage them to come, pique their interest, right? So welcome to our Colors of the Infinite, Contemporary Buddhist Art exhibit. What is contemporary Buddhist art? It is art. Is it art about Buddhism? Is it art by Buddhists? Is it about spiritual growth and expansion, awakening and enlightenment, movement beyond the personal towards the infinite? Yes and no, and it depends, but welcome anyway. So people are reading this little statement that I wrote up, and you know, I told them Buddhist Churches of America, Buddhist Temple of Alameda, and have joined with Rhythmix Cultural Works to present this collection of art, and told them who the different artists were. And yeah, one of the parts, art carries spiritual expression from the depths of the individual to touch us, the viewer, in a temporary pause as the art moves into the infinite universe. Contemporary Buddhist art is this. So happy with how the artwork was set up and how it came to be. Let me share some of the things from the artists themselves. Okay, there's a Joyce Nojima, and she couldn't be there because she just had a little baby. She's one of the Enmaji members, and she's a part of the BCA Art Committee. Second generation Japanese American, received her BA in art practice from UC Berkeley, Master's in Fine Arts at UC Davis, and she's currently a faculty member at San Francisco City College, teaching artists in residence at Yerba Buena Center for the Arts. So she's been showing her artwork for a couple decades now and teaching art herself. So very happy to have her as part of our committee, and yeah, she has wonderful artwork that is there. Another gentleman named Kai Fujioka. He's a Berkeley person, Berkeley member, young adult. And he's a local artist and woodworker, lived in the Bay Area his entire life. Kai's Japanese American heritage and his appreciation for natural landscapes provide a unique perspective demonstrated in his art. So yeah, he brought just a couple pieces that we were able to make room for, and one of them was in this glass case, and Janet was looking at it just before I came, and they took it out of the case, and the texture of the paint he had on there, you couldn't tell what it was if it was behind the glass in the frame. So why don't we take it out of your frame and just hang it, and people could see all your strokes and all your colors. Yeah, so we did that. Okay. And his mother is Pam Matsuoka, who led when we had our leadership retreat at the Jodo Shinshu Center. She took care of the rooms. They gave us our keys, and she's one of the staff at the Jodo Shinshu Center. So through that and her connection with her son, she's able to come to this exhibit as well. So very nice. Joan had her pieces. In Joan's statement, the Shin Buddhist teachings and temple traditions have grown to become a major influence in my life. I have been part of the Buddhist Temple of Alameda since 2004. The freestanding glass composition and the paintings reflect the Dharma message for me. So, Joan being one of our members, we could always point to her. So yeah, she comes to our temple. She's one of our regulars here at the Buddhist Temple of Alameda. And there's her work there. There's a couple more works here. And so very nice to have Joan there, and she could engage and show people her artwork as well. And there's a young woman from Vietnam that I've told you about, that I saw her artwork in the Argus, right, Alameda newspaper, that she won a competition, and her artwork was sent to Washington, D.C. Each congressional district selects a winner, and all these winners for 1 year, one of their paintings is shown in the Capitol buildings. So Valerie Pham, a senior at St. Joe's Notre Dame High School in Alameda, has grown up a Buddhist her whole life. She draws inspiration from her culture and spiritual practices to create art about the beauty and internal conflict that Vietnamese Buddhists face in the context of war, generational trauma, and intercultural exchange. So how she writes and explains what she's trying to convey through her artwork, it's like, wow, she's thinking about a lot, you know. But yesterday, I had my camera on and I was trying to do this video tour, and I came up to her and her sister. They came, and she's like a little kid, you know. They're just giggling, and what can you tell me about your artworks? And just giggling. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. And so shy and young, you know. But when you read what she had thoughts about, so, wow, how does Buddhism influence my life and culture? Buddhism plays a central role in traditional Vietnamese culture. I analyze my outsider status from the culture as an American. I explore the ways my religion beautifully integrates into daily life, while also showing how the corrupting influence of alcoholism and gambling addiction caused by the trauma from the Vietnam War diminish its integrity. These powerful words that she's using to describe her artwork and her thought process that she comes to find what she draws. And you wouldn't glimpse that watching her giggling in front of the camera, but really something special. Betty Cano, I told you she was there, 80 years old tomorrow, and we went to her gallery, Charmin and I, and to meet her for the first time. And she's like the size of a Dharma school kid, you know. She's like, in her dreams, she'd be 4'11". She's actually more like 4'9". So she wrote, as the director of Pro Arts Gallery in Oakland, I sought to raise the profile of Oakland's creative community, especially Native Americans there. Growing interest in Japanese American history from the 90s led to teaching the expanding field of Japanese American art and literature at San Francisco State University for 18 years. Now there's a powerful range of resources, art and literature, for a broad, multicultural, multi-generational, prolific cultural engagement. So she's been working. She went to UC Berkeley with Reverend Ron Miyamura, so about that age range. So they knew each other then, and since then she's continued with her art. So what is that? 60 years of artwork. And she's kind of a pioneer, because in the early days, Asian artists didn't have an opportunity, an avenue to show their artwork. It was dominated by white culture, American culture, and you had to be part of that culture to have the placement to show your artwork with the other artists. And so a lot of times the Asian artists were discriminated against, you know, so few opportunities. And she was one that noticed that, so why don't we have our own show? why don't we get together? We'll show our things here. And through that, able to show and gain strength in not only Japanese or Chinese, but Asian art and other minority art, whether Hispanic, Black, Native American, and she has been supporting and promoting all these things for so many years, 60 years, right? And being part of our community in Berkeley is where she lives. So all of this has been happening, and to bring them together, from Betty, who's done so much, Joyce and Joan have been professional artists, and the other ones are young and just starting. And so in terms of experiences like this, but the elders get to welcome the young ones that are participating. The young ones get to talk to the artists that are more established, and to be able to gain some perspective and feel like they are a part of this all. Okay, so it's very fruitful, and I think it's nice. I hope everyone in the room is able to come to the exhibit. There's special days. You have to have a reservation. They're not always open at Rhythmix, but I can provide certain days that I'll be there sitting in the gallery. Okay. And then another thing connected to this art, I have big pictures today, so I'm showing them off. Okay, we've heard about this. I've talked about it a number of times, and so has Jane. Some of us have ordered obento, and they're going to have lunch here after service and go to the movie at 2 o'clock. This is upstairs at Rhythmix, and when this movie shows, April 21st, this is the closing reception for Colors of the Infinite. So you could have obento, you could see the movie, and go downstairs and see this art gallery exhibit as well, and spend the whole day. You could even come over and sleep at my house. Okay? We'll have the whole day together. So in this, they are not Shin Buddhist. In this film, they're showing Shingon Buddhist. So the sculpture, the Bodhisattva that he's carving, looks like a mean, tough guy, huh? So not one of the images we might have on our altar here, but being of the Shingon tradition, they have a little different perspective of Buddhism. And so back in the day, in 770s or so, the founder of Shingon Buddhism, and his name was Kukai. So there's two characters, okay? Kukai of Shingon Buddhism and Saisho of Tendai Buddhism. Okay, Shingon, Tendai, Kukai, Saisho. Okay, so when we hear and learn about Shindan Shonin, as a child, he went to Mount Hiei, right? Mount Hiei is this Tendai monastery. And at the same time, similar, different mountain monastery had Shingon teachings that Kukai started. And so they were contemporaries when they were first bringing material from China to Japan. So Saisho and Kukai would go to China together, right? They'd be on the boat together. I don't know how long it would take to boat from China to Japan, and pirates in the water and all these things, right? Life and death situation. But they would go and they would have their own connections to collect works that they wanted to bring back to Japan to teach Buddhism in Japan. And so they were friends. They got along well and shared some of the teachings, some of the rituals that they were able to learn in China, and share them when they got back to Japan. So very interesting story. And so this is how it connects to Shin Buddhism. So Shindan Shonin went to Mount Hiei, which was Tendai. So we learn much less about the Shingon tradition. I remember going to, well, while I was at IBS, there was a Ichishima Sensei. He was a Shingon professor and priest, and so he would tell us about Shingon Buddhism, and he had a friend from his temple, and the two of them, he was a little bit older and a younger friend, and then they were talked together and just became comfortable to talk to each other. And then it just so happens, years later, one of my friends that came to service here, he took a trip to Hawaii, and then he was over there, and he just happened to wander into this temple, and it looked very different. So, looking around, and the minister was there, so yeah, and I'm from America, and just came to visit your temple. So okay, come in. And so I know a family in San Leandro. I don't think you would know them, but there's a Hogan Fujimoto that's a minister. So I know him. What? Yeah, I know him. And he has a son as my friend, and he's taking classes in Buddhism too. Dennis Fujimoto. Oh yeah, I know him. And so my friend Tom, he was so surprised that he would meet someone of completely different Buddhist tradition, but we knew each other from his time over here in the United States. And in fact, Ichishima Sensei's younger priest assistant, he used to, in his younger days in Japan, he used to go to horse races in Japan, keiba, right? And so, yeah, we have a racetrack here. So I took them to Golden Gate Fields, right? The two of them and a couple other people. So we hung out for the day at Golden Gate Fields. So this is the person, the priest that my friend Tom had met in Hawaii. So, totally unexpected. So the connections kind of continued. It continued. Let's see. Yeah, so we have when I was at the National Council meetings, I'm gonna have to give a report, and mine was the last report before the end of the whole meeting, and I was able to go up there and telling them the things that are going on, what's upcoming, and thank you for all the support you have provided, and this and that, and for part of my report, I asked them, just imagine, what if you were to ask your son or your daughter or your grandchild to paint the Nembutsu? And people look kind of looking, wondering, it's kind of like, they're kind of wondering, what does that mean, right? And so, imagine what kind of questions would come back to you, right? What kind of dialogue would you initiate if you were to ask someone, or to try yourself, to paint the Nembutsu? Right? Completely different avenue of expression and exploration of what the Nembutsu is, what the Nembutsu teachings are. This Namo Amida Butsu, what does it mean? How do I connect to the infinite? Right? But through artwork, you're called upon, in a sense, to do this. And so the artwork opens you to different avenues of expression. And even our artists, they might not say the primary thing is that they are Buddhist. I don't know that Betty's been in a temple other than here yesterday, 2 days ago. Might not go regularly to a temple. Valerie practices at home, but not regular temple-going people, right? And so everyone has a different kind of setting, but through what we have been through as individuals, as families, there's some kind of connection beyond family, not because we're Buddhists, but because we're people. We're connected to this infinite, right? So I think that is something that's able to be shown and explored and expressed. And hopefully we can continue to see this, recognize this, and support the people who are trying that. So, it's kind of exciting to me, and that everything is becoming pretty much a culmination right now. Yesterday's opening, and for the month until we get to the closing with this carving the divine, a lot of things are happening with this hard work and focus. So please join me in Gassho, and I'll read this wasan again. The light shines everywhere ceaselessly. Thus Alameda is called Buddha of uninterrupted light, because beings hear and see this power of light. Their mindfulness is enduring, and they attain birth. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you.
Thank you, Sensei, for your message and all of your hard work. Now please stand for the Gatha Ondok-san on page 220. Thank you to everyone who helped with the altar preparations and with the service. Thank you to Reverend Dennis for the YouTube setup and your message and all of the work you do. To Lenny, our wonderful organist. Those who helped with the altar flowers, and anyone who donated special altar offerings. Are there any newcomers today? If there are, you can stand up and introduce yourself if you're willing, but I don't think I see anyone who I don't recognize. No. All right. So in terms of announcements that I have, next Sunday is March 17th is our spring Ohigan service. And we're having guest speaker, Reverend Michael Endo will be here for that. Very exciting. And then unfortunately, that's the last service of the month. So we will have no service on March 24th for the Hidden Treasure Sale. We hope everyone comes to that or helps out with that. And then March 31st is the 5th Sunday. So it is also birthday Sunday this week. So do we have any March birthdays? Is Cora's birthday in March?
Do you want to check upstairs?
So, younger Cora's birthday.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Are you sure? Don't be shy now. If they're hiding and you know it's their birthday, point at them. Okay, maybe we'll get one from upstairs. It's always fun to have birthday Sunday.
Excuse me, Mom, is it your Cora?
No, not my Cora.
Okay, your Cora.
See the pause this causes? Even if it's not your birthday, you should come up. Just look at somebody.
Half birthdays?
How old is Cora? 6. Okay. Hey, Cora. Yeah, why don't you go offer incense again? We'll show up one more time, okay? It's birthday Sunday, so we want to sing happy birthday to you, all right? Okay, put some incense in. Okay, stay right there. We'll sing happy birthday, okay? Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Cora. Happy birthday to you.
Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's take one more. Thank you.
Do you have any other announcements? I forgot to ask if anyone else has any announcements. No? Okay, well, with that, thank you so much for attending this morning's service. Please come up to offer incense. And one note is that usually we will not be having refreshments outside or in the social hall today because we have the agua luncheon and we need to be there by 11:30. So if you want to carpool, please let us know. Thank you. Huh? Right, it's a secret society.
Oh, okay.